Yeah, can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So intermediates, and in intermediates we have first of all carbocations. It has 6 electrons, and that is why this is electron poor. Okay, and I can say stability. Stability. It is inversely proportional to the positive charge. Positive charge. Okay, to the positive charge. Secondly, we have carbanion. This also has this also has 3 bonds, but there is one lone pair here. That is why this has a negative charge. And this has how many electrons? This has, tell me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons, right? 8 electrons. This is electron rich. Okay, electron rich. And the stability of carbanion. Stability of carbanion, it is what? It is inversely proportional to the negative charge. It is inversely proportional to the negative charge. If you decrease the negative charge somehow, then that carbanion will be stable. And the last one that we have to study is the carbon free radical. Carbon free radical. Carbon free radical is, you have a carbon atom, it has a free radical like this. And you can see it has 3 bonds. Okay, it has 3 bonds. Now, if I count the number of atoms, the number of electrons, each bond has 2 electrons, so 6, and there is one more electron, that is 7. Okay, this has 7 electron. And that is why this will be electron poor. Okay, so these are the 3 main classes of intermediates that you are going to study. Okay, so again, stability, if I want to tell about the stability of a carbon free radical, it will be inversely proportional to the what I can say now. I can say the, or rather directly proportional to electron density, I can say. If I increase the electron density, then the stability will increase. Okay, write this down, let me know if you're done.
Done, sir.
Okay. In order to stabilize these intermediates, and in order to talk about the stability and how things are different, for example, if I have a carbon positive and it has 3 CH3 groups, and let us suppose I have another carbon atom, it has 3 hydrogen attached to it. How are these two things different? How are these? This is different than this one. What is different here? So the main idea is that both are carbocation. Yeah, obviously both are carbocation. But what is different between these two carbocation? Now, in order to study these things, we have to talk about the electron displacement effects in organic chemistry, and what is the effect of these type of groups attached. Okay, what is the, so if I talk about the normal case, a carbon in organic chemistry, it is supposed to be bonded with hydrogen. Okay, now we will be studying, if not hydrogen, if let us suppose that CH3 is bonded, then what is the effect of bonding with CH3? If not CH3, if NO2 is bonded, then what is the effect of bonding with NO2? If the carbon is bonded with OH, then what is the effect? Okay, now we will be always comparing with hydrogen. Okay, so hydrogen is the most base case, the natural case, or I can say the general case, and we will compare if hydrogen is present, or if CH3 is present, or NO2 is present, or OH is present, or any other particular group is present. Okay, now all of these will be conducted in terms of electron displacement effect. Okay, so please write the topic, that is electron displacement effects. Electron displacement effect. Now, electron displacement effect can be categorized into 2 types. Some are permanent, permanent effects, some are temporary effect. Now in permanent effect, we are going to learn about, first of all, inductive effect. Secondly, we are going to learn about resonance. Okay, so resonance is a phenomena, and the effect that it gives is called the mesomeric effect. Mesomeric effect. Okay, so mesomeric effect. Thirdly, we are going to learn about hyperconjugation. Thirdly, we are going to learn about hyperconjugation. Okay, so inductive effect, then resonance, and then hyperconjugation. In temporary, we have only one effect that is known as electromeric effect. Electromeric effect. Okay, so write this down. We will start with inductive effect today. Tell me you're done, okay? Tell me if you're done.
Done, sir.
Write the topic, inductive effect. Inductive effect. Inductive effect. Now read. What is inductive effect? First of all, the driving force is electronegativity. Okay, the driving force of this inductive effect is what? It is electronegativity. Right? Now, what is inductive effect? Please write the statement. Partial shifting of sigma electrons partial shifting of sigma electrons towards more electronegative toward more electronegative element. Just write it here. Towards more electronegative element. Okay. And this leads to generation of this leads to development of partial charges. It leads to development of partial charges. So, for example, if you have carbon molecules like this, carbon atoms like this, and then there is an electronegative element. Let's suppose X. So the kind that is electronegativity of carbon, it is less than the electronegativity of the X atom. And then what will happen? Then the X atom, they will attract the electrons. Okay, they will attract the electrons from this carbon atom. Okay, at this carbon atom. And that is why this will be getting a delta negative charge, and this carbon atom will be getting a delta positive charge. And as this carbon has developed a delta positive charge, the electrons in this bond, they will also start to move a bit. Although they will be moving a bit more, the intensity of movement will not be as high as it was in the CX bond. So here you will be getting very, very small positive charge. Similarly, you can see that there will be some electron shifting in these carbon atoms also. So you'll be getting very, very, very small positive charge here, and you'll be getting delta positive charge here. Okay. So as you can see, it is inductive effect is distance dependent. Distance dependent. Okay, and I can say strength of inductive effect is inversely proportional to the distance. Okay, so for example, if the inductive effect is shown by this X element and it is pulling the electrons, then the effect of pulling will be very less in the fourth carbon atom. It will be drastically decreasing. Okay, it will be drastically decreasing. It will be highest in the alpha carbon, which is directly attached to the group. Write this down till here. Let me know if you're done. And similarly, okay, wait a second. I think you must have written a few points. Right? Okay, please write with me. For example, you can have another case where you have carbon, 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 and there will be a Y group here. Okay, there will be a Y group here. Now, if I say the electronegativity of carbon, it is greater than the electronegativity of Y atom attached, then the carbon will be pulling some electrons, right? The carbon will be pulling some electrons. Oops. Carbon will be pulling some electrons, okay? Now, carbon will develop a negative charge, this will develop a positive charge. Now, since this carbon has developed a negative charge, what it will do, it will repel some of the electrons, which is bonded here. That is, this will be getting delta, delta negative. Okay, similarly, this will be getting delta, delta, delta negative, and this will be getting delta, 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 delta negative. Okay, so you get the idea about inductive effect, that it is distance dependent.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. Now you can see that our carbon is the thing that is as it is. It is same in both of the cases. What is different here? We can have some group of atoms which can pull electrons from the carbon chain, and then we can have some other different type of group which can give the electron, which can push electron towards the carbon chain. Either you can pull from the carbon chain or you can pull towards the carbon chain. Now you can differentiate between these two groups. Now, the atoms or the groups which pull electrons from the carbon chain, they are known as electron withdrawing group, and which can push the electron towards the carbon chain, they are known as electron donating groups. Okay, and in inductive effect, they are known as the minus I group and the plus I group. Okay, but before that, let us see how the inductive effect it affects the stability. Okay, stability. If I ask you a question, which of the following is more stable? Okay, which of the following is more stable? Suppose you have, there's a fluorine group attached to CH3 negative. Let us say there is chlorine group attached to CH3 negative. Okay, CH2 negative hoga. Really sorry for that. CH2 negative. And suppose you have bromine group attached. Wait a second. Do one thing. Let me make it COO negative. This will help you more. COO negative. And let us say, if you have iodine group which is attached to CH2, COO negative. Okay. Write this down. Let me know if you're done. Then you will explain which is more stable and why. Done? Did you write this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
No. See, again, the basic idea of stability is what? Stability, the basic idea is stability is inversely proportional to the charge density. Correct? Do I need to explain this part? Tell me. Stability is inversely proportional to charge density. Yes. Otpika, you will tell me. Do you understand this? Why? Yusra? Yusra and Hotvika. Yes, tell me. You can't hear me or what? What about Samaira, Mariam, Hishma? Do I need to explain this? Stability is inversely proportional to charge density.
Yes, sir. Please explain.
Acha, I need to explain that. Okay. Tell me, Samaira. Acha, you know about this term at least? Stability is inversely proportional to energy. If you have high energy, the stability will be low. Or do I need to explain this also? Tell me now. I can explain it, no problem for me.
No, sir. I understand this.
You understand this. What about others? Hotpika, Yusra, you understand this? Yusra and Hotpika?
Yes, sir.
What about Hotpika?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you understand this, right? Stability is lowered if energy is high. Okay, fine. Then I can start with an example. You can erase this point. Okay. Now this is a brick. Okay, and it is above your head, 1 centimeter above your head. Okay. And then again you're standing, and there is a brick which is, let us say, 100 meter above your head. Okay, the brick is 100 meter above your head. Now in case A and case B, if the brick falls, which will hurt you more, A or B?
B.
B will hurt you more. And which has higher energy, A or B?
B.
B has more potential energy, na? B has more potential energy. That means since now, like charge, you don't know how to calculate the energy of charge. That is why I introduced you regarding this. I mean, you get a feel which will be hurting more, and we will say that that has more energy. Can I say that? If it is going to hurt you more, then it is having higher energy.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, okay. We can go with this now. All of you are with me. Okay, fine. Now let us suppose you have a coin. I mean, this is the example. I don't know whether you have heard with this from me or not. This has 1,000 volt, and if this is a coin, and we have increased the potential, raised the potential to 1,000 volt. And similarly, let us suppose you have an earth. You have our earth here, right? You have our earth. These things we have done, na? I guess like in thermodynamics तो खत्म किया हमने, उसमें तो पढ़ाया था शायद हमने. You have
Yes.
earth here. मैं बोलेंगे यही सर के पास एग्जांपल और कुछ है ही नहीं सर के पास. You have 1,000 volt. Now you tell me, which will hurt you more, A or B?
A.
A. Hotvika, Hishma, Mariam, Samaira, all of you agree, na? A.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now you tell me, where is the charge density more? The charge is the same in both of the cases, but where is the density more? So I will have Q upon volume here, and I will do Q upon volume here, and we will get the charge density. As density is what? Mass by volume. Charge density is charge by volume. So if this will be equal to what? Q density, right? Now this will be equal to Q density. Now since the volume is very less here of the coin, the charge density is very high, and that is why it is hurting me more. Now you understand why stability is inversely proportional to charge density?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about others? Yusra, Samaira,
Yes,
Samaira understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. All of you understood this. Okay. Now I can move forward, right? Now I can move forward. Let me erase these parts. Huh? Okay. So stability is what? It is inversely proportional to charge density. That means what do we need to do? If I want to have a more stable, species, then I have to have the charge density which is lowered. Charge density which is lowered. Now let us talk about the structures that are given. Now, what charge is there? First of all, you will identify that charge. Tell me which charge is there? Positive charge or negative charge?
Negative.
Negative charge. Okay. So if you have a negative charge and you want to lower it, you want to do what? I want to lower the negative charge. Then I will attach, this is our negative charge, and I will attach some group here. Okay, I will attach some group. Now you tell me, this group, if I have attached, should this group give more electrons? Should it give more? It should be electron donating group or a withdrawing group. What do you think? If I want to lower the negative charge.
Withdrawing group.
Yes, Yusra. What do you think? How many of you think it should be electron withdrawing group? Raise your hand now. How many of you think that if I pull the electrons away from the negative charge, if I pull the electrons away from the negative charge, then it will be lowered, right? Yes or no? Yusra, Samaira,
Yes, sir.
Motvika, right? So this group should be what? Electron withdrawing groups. Electron withdrawing group. Now the best example of electron withdrawing group. Now you tell me this group should have high value of electronegativity or low value of electronegativity. Tell me. It should have high value of electronegativity or low value of electronegativity. If I want to pull more electron, yes, what, Vika, tell me.
Or is it low value of electronegativity?
So no, I am asking if you want to pull more electron, then the element should be more electronegative or less electronegative. Which will pull more electron. Okay. What is electronegativity? Do you know the definition of electronegativity, Vatvika? Not the definition. Do you understand electronegativity? No. Vatvika? And you can just tell me, na, yes or no. Can you explain me electronegativity?
It is a tendency of atoms
to
or functional group. I don't know. I just forgot. It is a tendency of atoms to attract electrons towards itself.
Attract electrons towards itself. Okay, and what do you need to do in this? If you want to lower the negative charge, then you want to attract the electron. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
If you want to attract the electron towards the group, then what will happen? You need to have higher electronegativity.
Yes. Yes.
You should have higher electronegativity. Now, this may seem initially, like obviously for me, it was a bit confusing that why, if what we are doing here is that we are pulling the negative charge, right? We are pulling the negative charge. You will say, sir, negative charge is not going anywhere. It was initially with oxygen. Now the fluorine will be pulling it and it will be towards fluorine. This will be getting a delta negative charge. So what good is it? The question will be, what good is it, sir? Initially, there was only oxygen which had negative charge, and now fluorine also has some delta negative charge. Fluorine also has delta negative charge. I will say, yeah, this is good. Why this is good? Because now the same energy is distributed over a large area. That is why the charge density is lowered. Okay, so you understand how this molecules are getting stability. It is not because the charge is reduced. No, how can charge get reduced? If you have a negative charge, there will be a negative charge. The only thing the electron withdrawing groups can do is that they can distribute the charge over the whole molecule, right? So this delta negative will be there in fluorine. Okay, that is why this negative charge which was present here, some of its effect, it is not localized anymore. It is delocalized, okay, through sigma bonds. Okay, it is delocalized through sigma bonds and through the charge density is lowered. Now, if I compare the fluorine, bromine, and iodines, then I can say that fluorine has the highest electronegativity. That means it can pull and it can distribute the charge over the whole molecule most effectively, followed by chlorine, followed by bromine, and followed by iodine. Okay, and if this is the order of electronegativity and the electron withdrawing tendency, then I will say that A is most stable. All of you understood this? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please write this down if you want to write it. Or if you're done, then let me know. I will just write two things, minus I group and plus I group, the order, and then we can move on.
Done.
Done. Okay, fine. All right, minus I. Minus I effect. Okay, what is minus I effect? The the withdrawal of sigma electrons through inductive effect. Okay. Now this is not important. Obviously, minus I means you are pulling more electrons from the carbon chain. What is important are the minus I groups. Okay, the groups which can attract electron, from the carbon chain through inductive effect, the sigma electrons. Okay, so initially the most minus I will be, these will be groups. Okay, so this will be if this group is attached, let's say, okay, so I hope you can understand what is the electronegativity here. You have nitrogen which is attached with 3 fluorines, so all of them will be pulling the electrons. So this is what, this is most electronegative in terms of inductive effect, followed by okay, then followed by nitrogen will be there, and then you will have hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. We'll say, sir, why nitrogen is more electronegative than the halogen atoms? Because it has a positive charge. Now, it doesn't matter what is the element. A neutral element can never attract more electrons than a positive charge. Positive charge, it is a complete charge. It will be obviously attracting more number of electrons. Similarly, then you will be having NO2 group attached. And you have nitrogen and 2 oxygen. That is also going to increase the electronegativity. Then you will see that there is a carbon triple bond nitrogen. Now, why is this carbon taking up electron? Because first of all, it is attached with nitrogen, and more importantly, this carbon is also what, sp hybridized. Now, if there is more s character, then what is present? If there is more s character, that means the electronegativity is high. Similarly, you will have a higher electronegativity if you have a C double bond O group attached. C double bond O group attached, and there is a hydrogen group here. Okay. Now this will be followed by a ketone group. Okay, a ketonic group. Let me say this is R. Then it will be followed by a carboxylic acid group, COOH. This will be followed by the halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay. Now after that, you will have the OR group, that is the ether group. This will be followed by what? OH. After this, you will be having a carbon triple bond will be there first. A carbon triple bond carbon, and then hydrogen. Because it's sp hybridized, this is also sp hybridized, this will be having an electron withdrawal group. Next is you have NH2, I guess. And this will be followed by now NH2, and then benzene is also an electron negative. Let me write it like this. Now, why is benzene attracting the electron? Why it is electronegative? Because this one is sp2. All these carbon atoms, there are 6 carbon atoms which are sp2. So obviously, more s character means more electronegative. This will be followed by CH double bond, CH2, and then at last you will be having hydrogen. Okay, so this is the minus I order.
Yes, sir.
Done? Can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me just introduce you to one portion which is slightly off topic, but it is important. Acidic character. Okay, what are acids? Bases we will go afterwards. What are acids? What are acid? Now in organic chemistry, we will be mostly talking about Bronsted acid. You know, there are three definitions: Arrhenius, Bronsted, and Lewis. Bronsted, Lowry, and Lewis. Yes or no? You know, have you heard of these terms? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what is Bronsted Lowry acid base? Or Arrhenius acid base? Tell me.
So Bronsted Lowry's proton acceptors are
Tell me.
acceptors are bases. Proton donors are acid.
Once again, do that once again. What did you say?
So according to Bronsted Lowry concept, proton donors are acids.
Okay, fine. So acid and bases in terms of, let me write the topic, that is Bronsted Lowry theory, right? Bronsted Lowry acid base theory. Okay, so I will say that this is BLT, Bronsted Lowry acid base theory. Okay. Wait a second. Now you tell me, what is acid? Is a proton donor.
Donors.
Okay. And what is a base?
Proton acceptors.
Proton. Very good. Proton acceptor. That's it. Fine. Proton acceptor. Okay, proton acceptor. So you may be saying something like, if you have CS3, okay, now this CS3 is attached to, let us say, carboxylic acid, C double bond O, and there will be OH. C double bond O, there will be OH. And let us suppose that you have an NH2 group attached here with a CS3 molecule. Now this NH3 has some electron pairs, and this is an acidic nitrogen. So this acid will give its electron pair here. This lone pair will attack on this acid, and you will be forming CS3, C double bond O, and there will be O negative, plus you will be having NH3, and this is the extra hydrogen that the nitrogen has got, and CS3. So this is our acid, which is a Bronsted Lowry acid in organic chemistry, and this is our base, right? So base is, now as you can see, that a proton donor. Now let us see what is happening here. Okay, so you will be having these type of molecules. Now if this is an acid, let us talk about the which will be more stronger acid. Okay, which will be more stronger acid. So when you have acid and base, when they react, now after the removal of hydrogen, whatever is left, it is known as what? It is known as conjugate base. And after the addition of hydrogen in the base, it is known as conjugate acid. Can you remember these two terms? Can you remember these two terms, conjugate base and conjugate acid? Acid gets converted into, after the removal of hydrogen, it gets converted into conjugate base. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now real fast. Strength of acid. Always you will be looking, strength of acid is what? Strength of acid is directly proportional to the stability of the conjugate base. Okay, if the conjugate base is stable, that means the acid will also be, as the acidic character will also be very high. Okay, fine. Let me stop here, and then we can do the Viva, and after that on Tuesday we can continue from here. Okay, are you done writing?